One final anti-air position remained near the clones' landing area. It was further inland, and the clones had less backup as logistics were slowed at the beachhead. Nevertheless, the clones had good faith in securing another victory. But the Imperials had already sent reinforcements to the position. Storm commandos, snipers, and more were laying in wait. When the first troopers were spotted, the Imperials unleashed a constant barrage of blaster fire, destroying everything in its wake. By rotating firing squads, they made sure the clones had no room to breathe. Desperately, the clone troopers dove for cover, but many died before ever realizing what was happening. The vicious turrets were relentless as its shots sent clones flying all over the place as their armor got pierced. The ATSTs took care of the clones' small vehicles, which could not maneuver well with all the vegetation and dead bodies. Some clones got a lucky hit here and there, but the Imperials' rage did not diminish. A flanking vehicle was spotted and destroyed. The clones were hiding, pinned down, and many were wounded. The Empire's troops were convinced they would hold long enough to be reinforced again to take back lost territory. There was nothing the clones could do. A second attack might be necessary with heavier backup, but that would give the Imperials time to recover as well. Then all of a sudden, one of the ATSTs blew up. The war cry of the Wookiees could be heard as they appeared from the tunnels behind the Imperials. The heavy weaponry of theirs quickly took out the majority of the Imperial defenders. Confused, the stormtroopers returned fire, but it was already too late. The second ATST together with the AA gun were destroyed by the Wookiee launchers. The Imperial trench turned into a death trap as the troopers inside were being attacked from both sides. With the most heavy units out of the way, the clones felt confident enough to approach and secure victory. The Wookiee resistance fighters offered an alliance and shared their intel on the area. On Geonosis at that time, the false flag attack was about to commence. Droids in stormtrooper armor and captured Imperial walkers would advance shortly. As the CIS was not well known with Imperial hierarchy, the army of troops was a mess of different units which outfits they managed to secure. From the Intel HQ, Grievous and other members of the Council oversaw the attack as they gave the signal to start. As the units approached, they were spotted from afar by the Geonosians, who rapidly got to their combat stations. Once in range, they opened fire. But the sad truth was that their weapons were too inferior and inaccurate to do any damage. Two salvaged armor transports also fired at the Geonosians from the rear. The front units were taken out in seconds. The Geonosians were not equipped to deal with the walkers, and once one of the ATSTs started firing, it quickly destroyed their turrets and infantry. The droids disguised as troopers stayed back to prevent being shot and some of their exoskeletons being exposed. Barely any got destroyed. Once the official retreat was given, Grievous rolled out his armor to clear the battlefield. The aggressiveness of the droids controlling the walkers was lowered to ensure they got destroyed with the least amount of effort. The transports were still firing, but with a few shots they were taken out as well. Any remaining walkers were set to self-detonate to rid any evidence of the droids. A state of emergency was established, and the attacked area became prohibited to inhabitants. The Council would now plan its next move to set up the Imperials as the aggressor, and get their treaty signed for boosting the war economy. But during the night, something unexpected occurred. From the armored transports, groups of Imperial troopers emerged. A few weeks earlier, a group of pirates ordered by the Hutt cartel to salvage Imperial wrecks in the name of the Separatists were caught by Grand Admiral Thrawn. Through torture, the Admiral uncovered the Separatist plans. It was easy figuring out where the false flag attack would take place. Thrawn was known for his excellent strategy, mostly ridiculed as mere tricks by opposing forces. The unexpected attack presented an opportunity for his brilliance as the last pirate was torched after spilling all his information. Thrawn proposed to secretly hide troopers amongst the fake ones to deal a serious blow to the Separatists when they least expected. Lord Vader agreed and offered his most elite troopers for Thrawn's operation. What the Separatists might have forgotten is that pirates choose the side of the highest bidder and are easily persuaded. With their help, the armored transports holding the troopers were put into position. The Imperials' target was the Intel HQ, where two members of the Council were discussing their strategy. With the area being off limits to civilians, the Imperials had no problem reaching the highly positioned entrance. Then, with a swift maneuver, the troopers opened fire on the security forces. It was a short, frantic fight, but both Separatist Council members lost their lives. Imperial units continued to destroy the hardware as their evacuation was called in. Once the troopers had rigged the intel chamber with explosives, they left the area. With a blinding flash, the main intel HQ of the Separatists was turned to rubble. Before the first response units arrived, the Imperials had already left Geonosis. The next morning, Grievous looked at what they've done. The false flag attack turned into an actual attack. This was a warning from the Imperials to give them a taste and how easily they would be fooled and played if entering the war as well.